Mark, the City Seminary does so many innovative things, and one of the places that you're putting your emphasis now is your project called Next Generation. Help us to understand a little bit what Next Generation is, what you hope to study, and what you hope to learn.
Well, Skip, when I first moved to New York about 15 years ago, I noticed that there was tremendous demographic change in the city, and there was growth in the city from Africa, Asian, Latin American populations. And in fact, over half of all New Yorkers are either foreign-born or children of foreign-born parents. And that has enormous implications for who the church is. And so I began to try to think through how church life was percolating up from the ground up in New York City. And I began to look at new congregations that were formed by people from Africa, from Nigeria, from Liberia, from Ghana, from Ethiopia. And as I began to spend time with them, as I began to spend many years with the congregations in New York City, I learned that whatever my questions were about how congregations did mission across borders, how they prayed, how they built a strong common life together, what most mattered to the parents and adults in the church was what's going to happen to my kids. Are they going to keep their faith? Are they going to keep coming to church? Are they going to change churches? How is living in New York City and America going to change them? And so it became the question that I left with after 10 years of work. And I began to see that actually everything I had been learning helped me understand how Christian faith and theology is about passing on the faith. It's not about just us at this time and place. It's about generations. It's about the past and the present and the future. And so the Next Generation Project looks at the transmission of faith in newer immigrant churches in New York City, which constitutes almost, well, between 2,000 and 3,000 new congregations in New York City. How are parents and priests and pastors helping young people to keep the faith and to adapt it, to translate it into their own context? What is happening to faith? There's been this great growth of Christianity in New York. The future is dependent upon the young people in the church. And so I think it's one of the most exciting and maybe the most important theological question of seminary and church work that we face in New York City.